momentarily.
Okay.
Good.
Ask
Straight?
her again now.
There's something really weird going on. I can't get, there's nothing coming up.
Okay, coming now to do the
There's nothing to share.
the invocation.
It should be going.
Royal
Might
Grace?
Stop.
Rotary Grace, Rotary Grace, Rotarian Royal.
Did everything close?
I don't know what's going on.
Love you straight.
Yeah, Royanne could hear you. Royanne, there?
Hi, yes, can you hear me?
Okay, good. Now you're live and kicking.
Hi, are you ready for me?
Yes.
Okay.
Ryan, you can go ahead.
Okay, good afternoon. Grant, O Lord, that the true spirit of service above self enters our hearts and that our every act be guided by the four-way test of Rotary. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much, Rotarian Ryan. And now coming with our loyal toast to the King and to the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, our Rotarian Hyman. Hyman, are you there all the way in Inagua?
All the way from Inagua. Blessed afternoon, my fellow Rotarian. Please raise your glass with me to the King and to the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
To the King. Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Thank you so much. You may be seated. It is a pleasure to welcome you here to RCN on behalf of our President Darren and also Sergeant at Arms, Jamal, both of whom, you know, they're lawyers, eh? So you know what lawyers do, right?
Shut up.
We only have one lawyer here. I don't know exactly, but anyway,
Not even his.
they had to be parents somewhere else. But nonetheless, we just want to welcome all of you to our meeting. Hope that you're having a wonderful time. Isn't the weather wonderful? Who love this kind of weather? Who love this kind of weather? Or do we all like the sun?
It should go.
And then it get hot, then we complain.
It's kind of something I don't.
How you complain? But this is a beautiful weather we have here. It's sunny Nassau. And so we just want to take this time to welcome all of you here and hope that you all are having
Yeah, but
a
it doesn't matter
wonderful
if
day so far.
There you go.
We hope that
See, it
you
should,
have a
it should
wonderful
be showing my desktop with all
moving
this
forward.
stuff.
Do we have any Rotarians on the line? Any Rotarians on the line? Any visiting Rotarians who are on the line who just want to maybe open your mic and just hi to RCN?
Yeah, Mike from the Rotary Club of Freeport.
There as well.
Oh,
So
hi.
the other, you know.
Hi, welcome, Mike. Welcome. Let's give Mike a round of applause. Thank you so much, Mike. Thank you so much for joining us. Any
How do you
other
get back to Zoom?
fellow
I don't know.
Rotarians, visiting Rotarians who are on the call?
Good afternoon, Avram Thompson from Rotary Club South Ocean.
Somebody's
Okay, good. Let's welcome.
Good afternoon, all. Charlene Kearney, Rotary Club of New Providence.
Rotary Club of New Providence, let's welcome RCN. Good.
I've never seen this.
Anyone else in the house? Any other visiting Rotarians in the house? Yes, we have in-house. Yes.
Past President Kareem from East Nassau.
Past President Kareem. It's not so. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's in person. It's so happy to have you here with us. Good, and if there be no other visiting Rotarians on the call, do we have any guests who are visiting with us today? Any guests of our Rotarians who are on the call? We would like to give you a RCN welcome.
My guest is there again, Cynthia Bodie.
Cynthia Bodie, is she on the call? Cynthia Bodie, could you open up your mic and let us know you are here?
Yes, I'm here.
Thank you so much. Cynthia, we're so happy to have you. Vika is in the house and she's bragging about you. And she said you will no longer be a guest in a few while. And we have Kilo here and never shake you. Good. She's going to provide an update. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You have any other guests on the call?
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Nikia Woodside, and I am a guest of Rotarian Nikita Boleg.
Okay, Nikita. Good. Thank you so much. We're so happy that you Yeah, you joining us today. Thank you so much, and we hope that you find RCN to be your home, the place where we are together and doing it in grand style. Anyone else? Any other guests on the call?
So if you go back to.
Okay, if we have no guests
How
on
do
the
you get back
call,
to the PowerPoint?
at this time, moving straight along, we have our guest speaker.
How do you get back to the PowerPoint?
We're gonna move now, bring, past President Chantel. If she would come,
If you
I
can
believe
share,
Chantel will take out now.
that doesn't help.
Updated
but
on
it
the
is-
SIP
No,
and
there's something
PIC.
else. Ugh.
I was there, I was the only Rotarian man there. I told Chantel, she said, "We can be there." But I enjoyed it nonetheless. Come, Chantel.
Excellent, excellent. Good afternoon, RCN, RCN. Thank you so much for your participation on Friday. We definitely demonstrated RCN together. It was awesome. So we were having it as a social and a fundraiser. I am happy to report that we have raised $2,500. So thank you all so much for that. We actually sold out. People were still trying to come in on that day, so that's like, those who are coming after me will have to probably do another session, but it was really good. Everyone said that they had a good time. Thank you so much to all of the sponsors. I mean, the food was good, the atmosphere was good. I mean, it was just a really good night. So we look forward to hopefully being able to do it again. Thank you so much for helping us to raise those funds to put into the RCN conference. Thank you.
Okay, let's hear from Chantel. Let's hear from Chantel. Whole initiative, very good. Like I said, I attended, I was the only Rotarian man there, but then nonetheless,
I have no idea.
I think, no.
Unless there's something.
Yeah. But anyway, it was.
Unless it's just because it's me logging in.
We got to get 6.38. Okay, now coming now,
We could log into
to-
Christina's computer.
bring us up to date. Will be our secretary announcements, please, let's hear it for Francina, our secretary, Rotarian Francina. Let's hear it, come on, let's help them, make them feel good. So how do we go to the secretary? Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, RCN. Good afternoon, Rotarians and guests. It's a pleasure to see all of you in person and online today, and representing, filling in for President Aaron.
This is
And,
retarded.
you know, this is the best club.
Yes, let's hear it up.
And so we just want to thank you for all that you've been doing so far. And we want to encourage you to continue to come out to meetings and invite guests, and hopefully they will join. Tamiki has done a great job. And we just want to continue our togetherness. This is the last meeting in January, and we look forward to a full house in February, and it's just a pleasure having you as members of this great dynamic club. Thank you.
Okay, let's hear it, our hard-working secretary, let's hear it, Lord. Good, beautiful. Now coming with membership update, none other than the exciting, the bubbling, the effervescent. Mr. Tino McCartney, let's hear it from Mr. Tino. Full of energy, let's go. Good, thank you so much. Membership update.
Mr. Incoming President, you kind of named shit today. Hopefully I can live up to all of those. Hello, everyone. How you all doing? Let's try that again. How are you all doing today? It's good to see that every table in here has someone sitting on it. Now, one more step, we want to see that every table will be filled over the next couple of weeks. A couple of dates that I want to bring to your attention. First, I want to congratulate Tamika and Nikita. Come, let's congratulate them. Why are we congratulating them? Because they have been on a membership drive, encouraging persons to come and join RCN. So give it up for them, Nikita and Tamika. Both Alex and Cassandra are very excited. And of course, Nikita has another person online today. And just so that you be aware, we are going to be on a very focused membership drive in the month of February. And that's the month of love, obviously. So I'm going to encourage you, let's make an effort to invite persons out in the month of February. This coming Friday, we're going to have a special session for any one of your guests who you would like to introduce to Rotary Club of Nassau. This coming Friday, we will be having a special session for those persons at 4:30 online. So please let us know, let myself, let Chantel know. If you have any persons who are interested in joining, you'd like them to join Rotary Club of Nassau, we can have a special session for them this coming Friday on 4:30 on Zoom. But of course, I cannot leave without giving away some items. I promised in the chat today that if you are here and you brought a guest with you, I have a treat for you. If you are in here and you brought a guest, now of course, we have our former president who's visiting with us today from East Nassau, correct? Yes. East Nassau, who invited you? Or you just came because you love RCN? Oh, is it just a makeup? I just. Both our lawyers are out today, both Jabal and Dara are out. So it's good to have you a part of this wonderful club. So do we have no other visitors in the house? So guess what? There's some visitors online, but this prize was specifically for persons who invited a guest to come out to our meeting. But if you are here and you have your buddy in the house. Oh, my buddy's please, if you have your buddy in the house. Yes, yes. You guys see buddy Levine? Oh, come on, I have to reach you off. Come Levine, who's gonna come Levine? You all too? Yes. Y'all still buddies? Yes. I thought y'all changed from last time. Yeah, break that up. Come, can we have someone take a little picture of this? Come on, Wayne. Come on, of course, I wanted to make sure that we're gonna give y'all some treats, both you and Sheila. Come on, Laverne, and Tamika. Tamika, both you and Nikita, whichever of your guests will be the first one to join. Of course, I have something from Fusion for you. All right, so anyone who have guests join, I have a Fusion ticket for you all. And of course, here you go. Of course, I want to make sure that you have something nice and sweet. There you go. You have your Starbucks certificate. Great. All right, enjoy. Come on, get a picture. That could use a couple more. Where's my buddy? Oh, there you go. There you go. Come, buddy. Where's my buddy? My buddy is here. My buddy is here. 1 second. Let me make sure. I certainly am. Going to the early morning show. So you see, it pays for you and your buddy. That's right. Come out to the meeting. All right, all right.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
So I'm encouraging you next week to make sure your buddy is out or you bring a visitor, especially in the month of February, as we show brotherly love. Of course, Tamika and Nikita, we're gonna have some nice gifts for them once their members join. One last thing, I also want to mention this again. Again, I want to mention this coming Friday, 4:30 p.m. We have a special pre-orientation for any prospective person that you would like to introduce to Rotary Club of Nassau as a new prospect. Please let us know. We can have a special session for them this coming Friday at 4:30. Thank you very much.
All right, let's hear it up, let's hear it up, let's hear it up, let's give it up for Membership Chair. Rotary, what a wonderful job, and it's always good to come out in person, because you never know, You might just be pleasantly surprised with some nice gifts. And next week, we're gonna, I think next week, but Kino said he's gonna have some tickets to Fusion. And I'm hoping that's in the VIP section. That's the person I tell you that. I say person to join. Yeah. So encouraging people to join RCN. I'm quite sure they will love it and you will be the better off for it. Now, moving right along, we're gonna move quickly because we have our guest speaker who's here, extremely busy man. He got some people, he has to go back because he got some people right on the tethering edge that might have to go someplace else. Yeah, but ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about the bailout today. The bailout is a very typical and topical subject today in this country. In fact, most people blame all our current circumstances and all our negative publicity as a country having the United States issue now some warning, they blame that on the bail act. That we have people on bail who really shouldn't be on bail. All right, and these people causing some havoc in the country. But of course, you know, they have human rights as well. And they have rights, citizens as well. And I'm quite sure our guest is ably and up to it. He's going to explain all of that to us and why we shouldn't get too mad. I hope none of us called him today and throw no knife and fork at him today. But we are at a crossroads in a country where this discussion is very, very important. And it's germane on anything we do here in this country in terms of keeping our streets safe. All right, because we know that we are on a pace now to have maybe, I don't know, one of the highest records murder rate in the country. Let's hope that don't happen. But of course, all the signs are there. Because we are outpacing last year, January, as we speak. But we pray that God that doesn't materialize. And in many instances, persons who have abused their bails, some 2, 3, 4 times. The government is right now discussing this matter right now as we speak. That's why it's so important of how they can curtail a person's on bail from reoffending. So anyway, coming now to fully explain all of that, will be none other than our guest. But before he comes, we'd like for him to be introduced by our lovely and beautiful Rotarian Tamika, who will come now and officially and formally introduce our guest speaker. Let's hear about this. Thank you so much.
Mr. Beyond R. Ferguson. Beyond holds a Bachelor's of Commerce degree in accounting from St. Mary's University, Halifax, Nova Scotia, Canada, and a Bachelor's of Law degree with honors from the University of the West Indies, Cave Hill, Barbados. He successfully completed the legal education certificate at the Eugene DePuche Law School and was called to the Bahamas Bar in October 2015. He is a practicing attorney in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. He is the founder and principal at BRF Chamber. He is an experienced litigator, and his practice focuses primarily on civil, criminal, and commercial litigation. He serves on the board of directors of Nassau Flight Service. He is the chairman of the appeals board at the National Insurance Board and also sits on the disciplinary tribunal of the Bahamas Bar Association. He's an avid tennis player and continues to play competitively locally. He also enjoys traveling and reading. He is married to the beautiful Chandra Ferguson, and they are the proud parents of 2 children. Rotarian guests and friends, let's give it up for Beyond Ferguson.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
I hope I may be able to, as everybody's friend at the end of the discussion. And so I prepared a PowerPoint so that we can have a nice interactive discussion on this topical issue of bail. And so I want to begin by, I guess, asking somebody to give me the definition. What is their meaning, or what is their understanding of bail in our system? Any volunteers? Can someone explain what bail is? Mr. McGarty?
Oh, my goodness. Little freedom, get your trial.
Pardon me?
A little freedom and get trial.
And that's exactly, essentially that is what is bail. Bail is essentially a pre-trial release. So it is you being released before going through their trial, right? Moving on to the slide. And so you will have an individual who makes contact with the criminal justice system, usually, obviously, by being arrested by the police and being accused of some offense and charged and taken before the court. The Constitution of our great country, it guarantees some fundamental rights to each individual, each citizen, each resident. So if you're accused of a crime, enshrined in the Constitution is this presumption of innocence. The principle, come on, please. So the principal use of bail in modern legal systems is to secure the freedom pending trial of one arrested and charged of a criminal offense. Just explain in a nutshell, it's a pre-trial release. Next slide. It's the procedure where the judge accepts at liberty the individual who makes the application before the judge. The judge at that time, many people don't understand, they actually examine on a superficial level the evidence that is available at that time. And the judge, in serious matters, indictable matters, they are heard at the Supreme Court. A determination is made. Bail is granted. Attached to each bail, there are conditions that are included in the bail. And so some of the conditions are the individual is not to interfere with witnesses. The individual is to keep a curfew. The individual is to sign in at the local police station, to wear or be outfitted with an ankle monitoring device, keeping a charge. And so there are some of the conditions that are usually affixed to each applicant for bail, each offender or each accused person. Let's just use the word accused. Because remember, he hasn't been tried, and so he's not convicted. Article 20. What people in our country seem not to appreciate is that notwithstanding the police has made allegations, at that point it's only allegations. They've postulated a theory. We believe this person is responsible for committing this act. But not unless and until due process takes place, evidence is presented before the court, a jury of that person has determined the matter and convicted him, then he can be punished. But we've moved in our society to attempt to use bail as punishment before due process. And so, in that sense, it's causing a lot of confusion. And we go back to the Constitution at Article 20 in the Constitution, which also enshrines to each accused person the right to be tried within a reasonable time. So if you accuse me today of a crime, you cannot incarcerate me for inordinate lengths of times, because that is a violation of that individual's constitutional right. And so that is also a factor or a consideration in why bail is granted. Because the individual's right, it could be infringed. And so in our system, a reasonable time has been determined to be roughly 3 years. And so if you haven't been tried within 3 years, you will get bail. Bail will be granted. And so there are a number of individuals in the country who are on bail for 10 years because they haven't been tried. And so every year we have new matters being added to the system, and these very same rules and principles apply to each applicant. And so you can't just blanket it, you just can't blanket it and treat everybody as one. Each case that comes before the court, it has to be viewed and examined individually because it has its own unique factors and circumstances that the court must examine and then properly do justice on. And so it's become a political issue with lawyers. We are here to defend the rule of law, the Constitution being our most supreme law, And so any attempt to erode those rights, you see lawyers get up and start to speak to protect the supremacy of the Constitution. It's supreme. And so if all of those things fall away, then we will have a society of anarchy. There are systemic issues in our system that needs to be addressed, but we have, in a very unfortunate way, we have demonized a very important feature in the system, bail. Bail is a very important mechanism in our system. It sounds good to incarcerate people and throw them in jail, throw them in prison. We know the circumstances of our prison in this country. The prison in this country is overcrowded, and there are issues. At the end of the day, the individuals are humans. All of these factors are considered when each applicant appears before the court. Next slide. Slide. Oh, so the Bail Act, we have a Bail Act, and it generally provides the legislative framework for the courts to be guided by when considering the issue of bail. The defendant must apply for bail at the Supreme Court for strictly indictable offenses. So you'll find the very serious offenses, murders, armed robberies, rapes, those sorts of allegations or offenses. Bail is applied for at the Supreme Court. Prior to December 2021, the magistrates court jurisdiction, they were not able to grant bail for very small offenses. And so you would have individuals who were accused of small amounts of stealing, all of it. You had to go to the Supreme Court to apply for bail. So in December 2021, that was amended, and that jurisdiction was returned to the magistrate, and individuals could approach the magistrate for those hybrid or summary matters, and they could get their bail at that jurisdiction of the court. If the court determines that an accused person is a proper candidate for bail, he would be admitted to bail, and the conditions that are attached is included in the bail bond. The Bail Act allows right now the police or the prosecution, any breach of those conditions take place. So if they don't keep the curfew as agreed, if they're not signing in on the days and times as ordered by the court, the prosecution could move and make an application to revoke the bail. Bail is simply the mechanism to ensure the individual appears or is available for his trial. That is essentially what it serves to do, to ensure that that individual, when his day comes for trial, for due process, he is available. He can be found, he can participate in the trial. One of the key, I guess, one of the issues that is very topical, obviously, we've had data from the police where they have indicated that a number of individuals who have been killed or murdered as recent as last year, they were all individuals who were on bail. And so obviously those individuals were targeted and killed. And so this whole conversation about bail just arose and it's being demonized. Bail is the reason why, these individuals, they should be locked up. But the actual issue is these individuals are not being tried within a reasonable time and are being granted bail. That is a factor why they're getting bail. And so some of the issues of why they aren't being tried, you have evidence that the police intend to rely on in the trial. It's not available for the individuals and their attorneys. And so all of those considerations, they're taken into account at the bail hearing. And so if you accuse me of a crime, and I don't even know what the evidence is, I haven't seen the evidence that you intend to use, that can't be fair. Because he has the right to know so that he could properly prepare his defense. And so when those things are not available, they are all considered in this bail hearing, and bail is granted. So what you see happen is, it's the symptoms of a bigger problem. And so unless and until we could alleviate, arrest, and address the inefficiencies to bring trials on, you're gonna continue to have individuals released on bail. And hopefully the police is able to police them. Because that is a subset of individuals who in most times are being electronically monitored. And so you know exactly where they are, or you're presumed to know where they are and what they're doing. And so that is an issue that we believe the police should better handle, but it is wrong and unfortunate, and it's causing a lot of confusion to demonize bail as the problem. Bail is a very important feature in our criminal justice system. It is very easy in our society, very easy in our country for an individual or a person to walk into a police station and make allegations against you, and you be found before the court defending yourself. And so we're gonna protect the right to bail, but we want to address the inefficiencies in the system so that the other right to be tried within a reasonable time can be recognized. And so I just wanted to have a discussion on it, and at this point, take questions. I didn't want to make it overly technical, legally is, but I'll invite questions. Yes.
So, if somebody is in prison up to 3 years and nothing has happened in their trial, they are entitled to bail?
Absolutely.
At that point, they're entitled.
Yes.
So what is the holdup? Because that seems to be the issue that nobody wants to say. Is that the prosecutor's side of things that they're not ready for the cases?
There's a number of issues I've indicated already. Evidence issues with evidence being available. And so if that is not available, the trial isn't going to start. There will be continuous delays. There are also the issue of, but it ties back to the evidence, the lack of support
Who
from.
provides the evidence?
Pardon me?
Who is there to provide the evidence?
So that is a function of the government, the prosecution, the state. The state is ultimately responsible for proving the case. The burden of proof, it lies on the prosecution.
But everybody's avoiding saying that.
I wouldn't say that they're avoiding saying that. I'm simply saying they're not addressing sufficiently the underlying issues.
Okay, so then to follow up, so I've been, well, not me, but anyway, I've been in jail for 3 years. I'm entitled to bail. I am out on bail.
Yes.
So then I go and I do something crazy
And
again.
if you commit offense.
I commit an offense, so I go back to jail.
Yes.
3 years' time, I will be entitled to bail again?
Yes. Because if you haven't been tried on the first offense or the first accusation, if you haven't been tried on the first accusation, you still presume innocent on that accusation and on the new accusation. The presumption of innocence doesn't fall away.
Yeah, right.
It doesn't fall away. It's a right.
And then finally, so if you get murdered when you're out, that bail is somebody putting up funds for you to get out.
Yes.
So what happens to that? That goes back into the
Actually.
that goes back to the person?
Yeah, it's returned to the conditional pledge, like I said, it's only to secure your attendance to trial.
Okay.
You see, that's the purpose of bail. You want to secure this individual's attendance for the trial.
I wanted to see.
Thank you.
And so, it's important for us to have an understanding of what bail is and how it operates, as opposed to, demonizing bail. Bail is an important feature in the whole system, very important feature. Because if we follow the logic that because the police say you have done something, then it's presumption of guilt, and you just sit in prison and you wait. That's not the way the system is designed.
Hey,
client commits more tedious crime. He can afford bail. All mine does a little thing, can't afford bail.
That's not accurate. Because once again, I've attempted to show you that each case is dealt with on its individual facts and circumstances. So if you come to the court as an indigent person, poor person, who is alleged to have committed an offense, the bail must be within reach. Your circumstance is totally different from a wealthy person. And there are some cases out there, I don't want to get into it. You could take a look, someone who is wealthy, who has been accused, you look at the amount bail was set versus someone, an ordinary man. And so that's what I'm saying, it's all about being able, and the court must be in a position to do justice in every case. Look at those unique facts as you come before them. So they look at you as on an individual basis, not as a big blanket. When John Doe comes to court, his unique facts and circumstances are set out and dealt with. If Mary Sue comes to court, her unique facts and circumstances are dealt with. And so it's unfair, and it causes a lot of confusion when we just throw it all into a big blanket and, try to deal with the situation as if bail is the demon.
So what happens, someone goes to jail and they're there for 3 years and we say then they get bail. What happens with the trial? I mean, is it ever, is there some situation where it never comes and they're allowed to go?
You hear everyone, they're talking about the backlogs, they're talking about, like you have cases in the system from 2008 that haven't been tried.
So what, just go on?
But when it comes up, then you have another legal issue that arises. Have this person been tried within a reasonable time? So that is another constitutional issue that arises. The individual has a right to be tried within a reasonable time. And so if he has been accused of a crime from 2008, it's now 2024, and he hasn't been tried, then it can be argued that his constitutional right to be tried within a reasonable time has been infringed.
And then what?
Then the court will, like I say, those facts and circumstances will be before the court, and they'll make a determination on that issue.
So they could actually throw it out.
Absolutely. A stay can be granted. Because your rights have been, you're supreme. The Constitution is supreme. And so if the court determines in that situation, your rights have been infringed, no trial will take place. No trial will take place.
Sorry, what about the loss? Income, the economic impact, and all these other things, how is that quantified?
Well, the criminal justice system per se doesn't necessarily address those things. That's more, a civil kind of situation. With tax dollars, you can have that discussion. Well, it's possible. You can have an issue of malicious prosecution. You have rights, So those sorts of issues around, those issues start to surface. And so let's take the reverse. You had me in prison. I didn't get bail. Let's just follow that logic. I didn't get bail. I've been accused of something from 2008, and I haven't been tried, but I've been sitting in prison all of this time waiting. How could that work?
You could be out still committing more crimes while you're out on bail.
But if you commit crimes on bail, once again, it's the duty of them to bring the case and prosecute you.
Doesn't prevent the second crime from happening.
But you're missing it. You can accuse a person every day. It is a state job. If you're saying I commit these offenses, you have to bring my case on. You have to bring my case on.
On what ground can I not get it? If I want the right to be innocent until trial, right? Why can I get bail if I apply?
I didn't hear.
If my constitutional right to get bail, on what ground can bail not be granted? If I am innocent until proven or convicted.
Okay, so when we say that it is your right, we like to refer to it as a presumptive right, right? So the presumption of innocence. And if it can be shown by the prosecution that you would interfere with witnesses, you would commit the likelihood of committing offenses, if that kind of information is available before the court won't grant bail. But you just cannot come and talk it. It has to be moved by evidence. The risk to the community, the public's interests, you know, but the evidence have to be before the court and reviewed by the judge, considered by the judge, and they make a decision, a determination.
Point. Yeah, that's on.
I recall years and years ago that if you were charged for murder, it was very seldom you failed.
But
It's unheard of if you didn't go from murder.
yes,
It's different now.
it is. The law has developed. The law has developed to the point where we are now. It was considered unfair. So you had these issues, very like you could take it to the death penalty cases. So someone has been convicted, he's sitting on death row, but you haven't ran the death warrant. And so it's been determined that if he sat there for 5 years, it's inhumane and inhumane and inhumane and I want to get the legal. Yeah, you know what I mean. And degrading treatment, sorry, inhumane and degrading treatment. And so it is upon the state, like I say, to act swiftly and read that the death penalty is still on our books. It's still on our books. That's all.
You said they're being monitored while they're out on bail.
I cannot speak to that. Work for them. That is a question or that is an issue you would have to, I just can't, you know, but we know that a contract, a private contract exists where people who have been extended bail, they are outfitted with monitoring devices. And we presume, we expect for them to be monitored.
There's an online question. Someone online?
There's an online question. I'll read you the message. It says, many thanks to my learned friend for his address today. Can he shed more light on the presumption of innocence and how important it is in our society and how it protects law-abiding citizens, please? And that's from Sandina Neely.
Yes. Yes. Very good friend. The presumption of innocence is sacrosanct, right? And we need to speak to it in our, obviously we're gonna address it in our context. Like I spoke to you, it's very easy to walk into a police station and level accusations against an individual. It's very easy to do that. And so for a law-abiding citizen, that is all they have to rely on at that point before going and accessing due process and going through the trial process, the presumption of innocence. I shouldn't be locked away until my trial is completed. And so you have that right, that constitutional right to be free. Your liberty, enjoy your liberty until your trial is brought on.
So the amendment now, put that into.
The amendment addresses, it's simply if an individual commits an offense while on bail or breaches the conditions or recognizance while on bail, it simply removes the ability of the magistrate to impose a fine and the individual bail is revoked, right? But it doesn't stop that person from applying for bail again. It really doesn't. You still can go back to the Supreme Court and apply for bail. So let me give you an example. Let's say you have an individual who is on bail, very serious offense. Let's say armed robbery. He's on bail for armed robbery, and he gets convicted of possession of drugs, dangerous drugs. His bail will be revoked because of the possession of dangerous drugs. Or let's say he's convicted. He's convicted and he does time for he does time for his possession of dangerous drugs. He could then, upon his completion of his sentence, he still can apply for bail to come out on the armed robbery charge. He's paying his debt to society for the drugs. I mean, in actuality, that's what's common.
With more confusion than clarity.
Correct.
Like I don't play the politics, but we are not addressing the systemic issues that is causing trials not to take place. We're not addressing we're not addressing sufficiently. Nothing is going to change, in my humble opinion. Right now, today, the Attorney General, at the opening of the legal year, he indicated that there are 150 pathologist reports that are outstanding. That means that that's 150 murders that cannot progress through the system until those reports become available. And so we have to have honest and wholesome discussions in order to address the problem. Bail is not the problem. No, and see, this is the police need greater support with their investigative. That's the investigative support, right? So if they're accusing you of murder, they must prove how death was caused. So they're gonna rely on the expert, the pathologist, to produce that kind of evidence. We have one forensic pathologist in the country.
Are we bringing nurses and doctors and other things?
We don't analyze scientific evidence or DNA evidence in the country.
Is it a lack of expertise or?
We simply don't have the facility. And so unless and until we address those, we'll continue to have, this is gonna be just a revolving door.
Okay, we have one more online question.
Okay, this is from Royanne Ford. How are the various delays and trial adjournments factored into the 3-year period? And what happens to the bail when the accused is deceased?
Obviously, I mean, once the accused is deceased, it falls away. It's no longer able to have a trial. So it falls away. Delays, adjournments, they happen, they're factored in, but like I'm telling you, we don't get, you can't call it an adjournment until the trial starts. These trials aren't coming off.
Comedy of errors.
And so, once again, just hope you have an understanding of why bail is granted in certain situations. And what is happening in the criminal justice system. And there are other issues, there are staffing issues at the DPP's office, and I think they're making attempts to address it. But I'm simply saying they are the reasons why trials can't, if you don't have attorneys to prosecute, you could put as much judges on the bench, but if you don't have those systems in place, the matters are still not going to work its way through the system. If you don't get more pathologists, the same thing. You could have a judge who the matter still be in the same situation.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it of a guest speaker. Come on, you can do better than that, RCN. Thank you so much, thank you so much. Okay, so we want to just thank our guest speaker for doing a wonderful job, preparing himself, availing himself much of it. Of course, this is a very controversial topic. I have my own opinions. But I'll say this, evil prevails when good people do nothing. And it's sad to see that this country is on its way to hell in a basket because we just refuse to do something. And you can't tell me that some people are not benefiting, but it's chaos we in. Many people are benefiting, trust me. Just have a monetary value to it. And that's why the chaos remains so. But it's a price to pay for our country. Let's look at our neighbors. Our neighbors. Our neighbors were just the same way, It started off just the same way with our neighbors. Now their monies are devalued, People are afraid to go to their shores, and their country is almost on the brink of no return. We in the Bahamas need to take action. The good people in the Bahamas, there are far more good people in this country than there are bad. And we have to really speak up. Bahamas are just too passive. We are too quiet. We only make noise when it hit our bottom dollar. But you know, our money can be on the brink of one day being devalued because of crime. And then we all suffer it. So this is a very serious thing. And we have seen policymakers come to office for a reason, to make tough decisions. And that's what it boils down to. We have to make some tough decisions. This matter with forensic, been on the drawing board from about 30 years ago. Oh, we need a pathologist, 30 years all ago. And of course, I wouldn't go into that. Why it was granted. Why, of course, bail in the previous years were not granted for murderers. But we had someone who we claimed to be very prominent in the country committed murder. And they found every loophole. Or he was accused of murder, but they found every loophole not for him to be remanded. He was represented by a very, very prominent attorney. And that matter has been used as the treasonous that every other person committed murder. And so that's it. Anyway.
In response to that, Mr. Ferguson.
Anyway,
In response to these accusations that are being made.
okay, we leave that there. We leave that there, but that's a very passionate portion of my life towards this bail thing, because I'm seeing it getting worse and worse and worse, and I'm seeing our country being affected by it enormously. And so we really have to do something. I'm defense lawyers, as well as prosecutors, as well as the police officers, we all must get together, come together and address this, because at the end of the day, all of us will be negatively impacted. It ain't going nowhere.
Well, we're being impacted now. The US is putting out advisories.
Yes, and the US is going to continue to do that. And the thing about crime will remain one place. Crime like a cancer. It may start in Baytown, Baytown people get affected. But brother, let me tell you something. That can spill on our top street soon. Because the criminals are getting bolder and bolder and bolder. Anyway, what else was on? Let's go, Mr. Ferguson. We'd like to present to you our token of thank you and appreciation. You take your time with your busy schedule, come and inform us and enlighten us as to all the challenges we face in this country as it faces the bill. Come on, let's go. Let's hear it up there. Let's give it up. Let's give it up. And we move on. So now we're moving up quickly. I see some people don't have their pens on. Some people don't have their pens on, so we need some fines to go into it. Kitty, for example, I'm going to get $5. See that either no. Who else doesn't have their pen on? And then we can't play everyone to your table have their pen on. I got now, break it, buddy, break it. Come, but you know, you want to do.
And I'm just putting on the name.
You want to collect?
Sam. Well.
You know, our fines go a long way to help our polio. All right, get some money in the back of that table, you know what, let me get a pen. Owen, that's a pen on you? Okay, good. Will you got a pen, you know? All right, Larry, you got a pen on? I was hoping you had one, Larry. You was a big finder. You got to be very. Those of you online, if you don't have your pen on, please put the text. Put the text that you do not have your pen on, and you're making your contribution to Polio Plus. Thank you so much. We have the raffle. Where's the raffle?
Keno.
Okay, let's go, Keno, you have the raffle.
We can have our guests, past president, you know, pick our raffle number today. Oh, raffle, okay.
You're having the raffle.
Listen, I thought we had that, that's. You place in the pit, the points in the pit.
Oh, no.
Let's see what's gonna happen. Oh, my goodness. You got it? Wait, one second. All right, sir, there you go.
Okay. Special gift is kindly donated by our Rotarian D'Amico. Rod Glitter, let's hear it for him. Yes, and D'Amico, we'd like to invite you to the front to make the presentation, please. You come now. Come now, I want you to be in position.
Can you?
It's kind of you want to write.
I saw a picture of it. Just explain what it is.
Okay, good. Beautiful.
Very quickly, it's just a 5-piece green handpiece from our Edge collection.
For a sign of a good Valentine gift. Okay, and here are the winner. Here's the winner. 4, 8, 9. Do we all have that? Good, beautiful. Be right on course. Our next number is 5. We all still here. Number 7. I gone wrong. What number you reading now?
9.
Lord of mercy.
No.
Take it, the time you call it, the Bible says, speak it as it is, eh? And she spoke it. Come on, our past president, come on, come to the table. Our president, this is how we treat our guests. This is how we treat our guests. Come on, sign. Yeah.
Are you saying from I think that come on.
And just so you know, I too had purchased a ticket, but I faced it, I didn't tell you to get me on my purchase a ticket.
You got it.
Sheila, not a word.
Wow.
Not a word. I'm gonna join the club if it's like this all the time. It's like this all the time. Winning every week. Yeah, every time I come. You gotta be joining. Thank you.
Enjoy.
Okay, let's welcome, please stand. Please stand, we draw meeting to close, and Jerry Francina will come now to do the 4-way test.
Now, once again. Please stand and join me for the 4-way test of the things we think to say. Is it? Is it? Will it?
Chip?
Is it? And will it?
Be fun.
Yes, it will. Thank you. Good afternoon.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's do now the royal toast. Going to be around the world. And Sam, you all go first, please.
Rotarian and guests, join me in the last toast, Rotary around the world.
The meeting is adjourned. Thank you.